Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone and welcome to your English class. In our lesson today, we'll finish with our fourth unit with our lesson today, which is the project and the self-reflection. Your books, page 60 and 61. All you need for the lesson today is your books, page 60 and 61, a sheet of paper and a pen to take down your notes. So let's get started. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to design a poster presenting famous quotes. Also, you will be able to fill in a self-reflection form. Let's get started with these two objectives. The project part, which is on page 60, number 1. Find interesting quotations by famous people in business, education, science, history, and so on, or any others. At the beginning, what do we mean by the word quotations? A quotation is actually a group of words taken from a text or speech, and they are repeated by someone other than the original author or the speaker. Someone will say a group of words, a speech, then the others are going to repeat it. So it is not my own words, it is other people's words. Okay. What are the famous quotes usually about? Are they about, let's say, maybe gossiping or talking about people? No. They are about important things like politics, literature, law, could be about history, education, or science. You can refer to the reading lesson for some quotations in there. Okay. And here, who's going to say these, let's say, famous quotes? Usually famous people. Maybe they are kings, could be scientists, could be people who are having their own position within life, a social status. In your book's page 60, make notes in the organizer. Whenever we're having a chart or organizer, we have to study it so we will get to know how we can fill it out. At the beginning, we're having here, you will come up with a quote or a quotation, the name of who said it, then you will explain that quote. These quotations are not random. You have to come up with something about science, about history, business, and education. We'll take these categories one by one. At the beginning in here, let's find out a quotation in science. Try to find out a quotation in science. I found out this one. Investing in science, education, and curiosity-driven research is investing in the future. Do you know who said that? Who said it? He was actually Ahmed Zuwail. What does it mean? Explanation. What did he mean when he said this quotation? He means the real investment for the future is in science and research. If you want to make money, you have to put your own money in science and in research as well. How about the other category? The other one is history. Do you know any quotation or speech that is said about history? Actually, the more you know about the past, the better prepared you are for the future. Do you agree? Who said that? Actually, Theodore Roosevelt said, the better you know about the past, the more prepared you are for the future. What does he mean? We have to learn from history. We read history so we will learn from other people's mistakes and experiences. The following is business. We have the quotation is, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Who said that? He's actually Winston Churchill. What does it mean? It means failure was part of the process. One learned from their mistakes, and the greatest lesson was that there was always another day to fight on. So, failure is one part of the process. Until you get to success, you have to fail. The last one, which is education, the quotation is, Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. Who said that? Albert Einstein. What does it mean? Education is not only in schools, but what we learn all in life. So it's not only formal education, learning from the whole thing, from the experience, from life. You can come up with any quotation that you feel like it touches you much more, classify it, come up with who said it and what does it mean. Okay. By the end, you will present your findings to your classmates. Just tell them about what you have already found within this quotation. The following part is the self-reflection part in your books, the second part, which is in your books, page 61. What do we mean when we say self-reflection? Self-reflection is actually a way of assessing yourself, your ways of working, and how you study. Now it is your turn to ask yourself how you are doing in this unit. You are going to put yourself at the teacher's place. It's not about marking. Am I doing well? So, to reflect is to think about your learning and improvement. No marks in here, just think about how we are doing. Before we start with the reflection, we have to get to know what have we learned so far. Flip through the Unit 4. What have we taken together so far from the first lesson? Actually, we have spoken about reported speech, reported questions, stressing that and unstressing that, reporting an event, the writing lesson, negative questions, indirect questions, and quotations, which was the reading lesson. Which one of these topics you feel that it is interesting? I like it. It's not about whether being easy or hard. I like it. Maybe it is quotations. Reading about people's experiences is interesting. How about something that it's not interesting for me and I don't like it? Maybe the idea of reporting them. How about something that you will say that was easy, a piece of cake? Maybe you're speaking about stressing that or reporting an event. How about something that is a bit challenging for you and I need to practice it much more? Ask yourself and choose one of these topics. Okay, let's take them one by one. In your books, page 61, we're having here the chart which is telling you how are you doing in this objective. Number 1, report what people said. Ask yourself, am I doing well? So you will highlight the first one. If you need to practice, you will highlight the following or the other one. On page 51, we have reported what people said. Notice the mayor or the candidate in here said, I will build a sport complex and I will not raise taxes. Then the TV reporter said, the candidate for mayor said that he would build a sport complex and he wouldn't raise taxes. You notice the will changed into would because I am not speaking about the future. Maybe it is the present for me or it could be part of the past. Will into would. Also, the TV reporter said in here, the storm last night knocked down many trees and some areas of the city are still without power. The TV reporter said, the reporter said that the storm the night before had knocked down trees. Some areas of the city were still without power. Is became were. Then the past will become past perfect. Simple past into past perfect. So always go 1 tense backward, older. On page 51 as well, we have spoken about reporting what people say. Here, we're having Majid. This is Fahad. The game starts at 8. I will pick you up at 7. How can we report this speech or this statement? Notice the underlined words. These are the verbs that we will change. We will say that Fahad told Majid, so Majid, I am Fahad, Fahad told Majid that, if it is a sentence, you will use that. The game starts, so it became started. Notice starts into started at 8. He would pick Fahad up at 7. Well, and 2 would. The following here, Noura. This is Maha. We had a wonderful time in Abu Dhabi with our family. Let's report it. Here, what did Maha say? Maha told Noura that they had a wonderful time in Abu Dhabi with their family. Notice had, the simple past into past perfect. We into they, as well as our family. It's not your family, their families. Okay. Also, we've spoken about discussing some famous quotes. The reading lesson, page 55. Here we're having a quotation by, he said, "My primary goal is to be an exemplary and leading nation in all aspects, and I will work with you in achieving this endeavor." Who said that? You can refer to the reading lesson. He was actually King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, the custodian of the 2 holy mosques. What is the whole saying about? What is the meaning? Is it in education? He's actually speaking about leading Saudi Arabia to be the best nation. The main topic is about leading the best nation. Another quote, 640K ought to be enough for anybody. Who said that? He was actually Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, 1982. Was he right? Is it enough? 640K, is it enough today? No. So this one, which we call it an irony, something that is against reality, we call it irony. He thought that it would be enough, however, it is not enough today. Never let formal education get in the way of your learning. This is about learning. Who said that? Actually, Mark Twain, who was a writer, and it speaks about learning, the difference between education, formal education and learning, lifelong learning and formal education in school. You have actually in page 50 discussed using reporting verbs and ask reported questions. We don't always use ask or said. We use other reporting verbs and how to report the questions. You start with an introduction. He said or he asked. If it is a question, you will use he asked. Then the following part, make sure that it is in a sentence form. Sentence form, subject followed by a verb. Then come up with the sentence formation. You will go 1 tense backward. Present, past, past perfect. Make sure that you will change the tense of the verb. Here, Adil, it is Ahmed. Are you going to the gym today? What do we use in here? Yes, no question. So we're saying Ahmed asked Adil if he was going to the gym that day. Notice are, because we're having here, we're changing the present into the past. Yes, no question, so instead of the WH, you will use F. Today, it's not today, the day, that day. Also another question. Yahya, this is Ali. What is the math assignment for tomorrow? This is a WH question, no need for F. So, Ali asked Yahya, no F in here, just use the WH question word where it is. The math assignment in here for the next day was. Notice the S and to was, present and to past. Okay. We use reported speech and make word changes. What about word changes? When I'm speaking today, when you are reporting me, you will say the day before, or let's say that day. Like here, I will build a new school in my hometown. Is it your hometown or mine? No, the speaker's. So in here, he said that he would build a new school in his own hometown. We have changed will into would grammar, as well as my is not yours, it will be his or hers. Also, he said, next year I will build a new school in my hometown. What did he say? He said that the following year, next year, maybe it is this year, the following year, he would build a new school in whose hometown? His own hometown. So in his hometown. Okay. On page 58, we have discussed the idea of forming negative questions. When do we form negative questions? To express surprise, or surprise about what's happening, and to ask for more information. Like here, the situation is, you recognize an old friend at the mall, but your friend doesn't recognize you. What would you say? What's wrong? You can say, negative question, we can say, don't you recognize me? Do you? No, don't. I will express surprise. How come? The second, your friend is eating popcorn and is not offering you any. You feel like you want some. You will tell them, can you give me some? Or we can use negative question. Aren't you going to offer me any? Aren't. Aren't you giving me any? Aren't. Also, we're having, you are playing a board game. You want your friend to play the game too. I want someone to join me. Negative question. What can I say? I will say, don't you want to play? Instead of do, we will use don't. Don't you want to play? Then he will say, okay, I will play. On page 58, we have talked about the environment and natural disasters. What are environmental problems? What are words related to natural disasters? All you need to know which is the word that belongs here. Number 1, global warming, tornado, countryside, and earthquake. Which word of these doesn't belong? It is odd or different. The word that is different is actually countryside. Why is it different? Because it is about the area of the country or the place. However, global warming, tornado, and earthquake, all of them are about the environment and natural disasters. Number 2, damage, city, threaten, and destroy. Which word is different? Actually, it is city. City is actually a noun, and the others are verb, and all of them, damage, destroy, and threaten, giving you the dangers related to nature or to the environment. They're having the meaning of harm. On page 59, we have discussed the idea of expressing agreement and disagreement using what? So, neither, either, and to. When do we use them? We use neither and either to express agreement with negative sentences. To and so with affirmative. We don't have not, the negative not. Let's agree with these sentences. I like coffee. How do you express agreement in here? I like coffee too. Or we can say, so do I, so I do, or neither do I. We can't use neither because it is for a negative sentence. You can have two options, whether so do I or so I do. But you have to change the order so it is so do I. You will choose so do I. I do, if it is I do like coffee. The following, I don't waste time. What kind of sentences do we have? Negative, don't. Can we use so? No, we can't use so. We can only use neither or either. I don't waste time either, or neither do I. The following, I am not tired. Negative. So we can't use so because so will be used with positive sentences, affirmative sentences. Neither am I or neither I am. Which one would we use? You have to change the order. So neither am I. Neither am I. Next, I haven't found the answer. Negative. So you can't use so in here. Neither I do or neither have I. It is neither have I, because we're having have in here. You have to use it because we've got it. I have finished, so have I. Neither I do or neither have I. Not so. We will use in here. Actually, the answer will be neither have I. This is the correct answer. Okay. In your book's page 69, try to find one of these words to be your favorite word. Choose, let's say, up to 5 words of this. We'll have like pumpkin, pumpkin seed, blood pressure, results, reschedule, complain. Come up with the word. What type of word is it? Is it a noun, verb, or is it an adjective? Try to find the meaning, the definition, then try to put it in a correctly formed sentence. Then you will choose it as being your favorite word. We're having a long list. Choose some of these words to be your favorite. You will find these in your book's page 69. If you still have any questions, you can read through the unit again, flip through the unit from the beginning until the end, read it again. You could find your answers. Listen to the audio materials. You can study the grammar and the form, meaning, and function forms in the unit again. We're having 2 lessons, the form, meaning, and function, and the grammar lesson. Read them again, and the exercises. You can find your answers. And if you still have any questions, you can ask your teachers for help. They are always there for you. Okay? I guess that is it for the lesson today. And thank you so much for your time.